You know what? I actually want to bestow, I want to articulate, I want to forth a passage. Or should I say actually a page? Let's do it. The Order of the Phoenix, Harry Potter. One page and one page only. It sounded to Harry too as though Mr. Weasley was hovering somewhere between life and death. Still exceptionally pale, Ron stared at the back of his mother's letter as though it might speak words of comfort to him. Fred pulled the parchment out of George's hands and read it for himself, then looked up at Harry, who felt his hand shaking on his butterbeer bottle again and clenched it more tightly to stop the trembling. Actually quite interesting. Let me set myself up to finish this page, because it feels like intrigue and curiosity be within, or which will allow us to actually start from the very beginning and go to the very end just by reading one page. A page can give you curiosity and intrigue, anything of which you pick up. Try it. You don't have to try it at the beginning. Try it anywhere. Truly, truly. If Harry had ever sat through a longer night than this one, he could not remember it. Sirius suggested once, without any real conviction, that they all go to bed. But the Weasleys looked of disgust weren't answered enough. They mostly sat in silence around the table, watching the candle wick sinking lower and lower into liquid wax, occasionally raising a bottle to their lips, speaking only to check the time, to wonder aloud what was happening, and to reassure each other that if there was bad news, they would know straight away, for Mrs. Weasley must long since have arrived at St. Mungo's. Fred fell into a doze, his head lolling sideways onto his shoulder. Ginny was curled like a cat on her chair, but her eyes were open. Harry could see them reflecting the firelight. Ron was sitting with his head in his hands. Whether awake or asleep, it was impossible to tell. Harry and Sirius looked at each other every so often. Intruders upon the family grieve, waiting. At 5:10 in the morning by Ron's watch, the kitchen door swung open and Mrs. Weasley entered the kitchen. She was extremely pale, but when they all turned to look at her, Fred, Ron and Harry, half rising from their chairs, she gave a wan smile. "He's going to be all right," she said, her voice weak and tiredness. Her voice with tiredness. "He's sleeping. We can all go and see him later. Bill's sitting with him now. He's going to take the morning off work." Fred fell back into his chair with his hands over his face. George and Ginny got up, walked swiftly over to their mother and hugged them. Ron gave a very shaky laugh and downed the rest of his butterbeer in one. "Breakfast," said Sirius loudly and joyfully, jumping to his feet. "Well, where's that accursed house elf creature? But Creature did not answer the summons. I was going to close the book with one hand and make a sound of a thump, but I had to use my second hand. Life. You don't get everything that you desire because, well, is desire real? What a question. It's just a jumble of words, as anything is. Truly is.